Regarding the tutorial of switches and switching areas, we've learned the first half of the advanced settings for switches in the previous session. Today, let's dive into the second half and switch areas. During the previous test play, when we touch the switch, it changes to the on state. When we touch the switch again, it changes to the off state. When we turn, must be continuously triggered to stay on. Turns off when you leave on. The switch will only stay in the on state while we continuously touch it. As soon as we leave the switch, it will automatically toggle to the off state. Let's take a look at the switch can be triggered repeatedly option. When this option is enabled by default, the switch can be repeatedly toggled on and off by interactions. When it's disabled, the switch can only be triggered to turn on initially by interaction. Afterward, further interactions won't toggle the switch. In the case of enabling switch can be triggered repeatedly, you can set a trigger cooldown time. This cooldown time determines the duration during which the switch cannot be triggered again after the previous triggering. Therefore, during this cooldown period, when you touch the switch, it won't be triggered. Here, we've set a 5-second trigger cooldown time. As you can see, within the first 5 seconds after the switch is triggered, when you touch the switch, it can't be triggered. However, after 5 seconds, you can interact with the switch to trigger it again. Auto switch off time and auto switch on time are both initially set to -1, which means they are turned off by default. Here, we've set auto switch off time to 3 seconds. After tapping Start Trial, when you touch the switch to turn it on and leave it, it will automatically switch to the off state. In 3 seconds, the same principle applies when setting the auto switch on time. That concludes our tutorial of switch-triggered events. We have covered this topic in detail. In addition, switches can control all motors of a component by toggling them on or off. To achieve this, you can go to the advanced settings and tap on Add Switch Linking Target at the bottom. Then add the component you want to control. Here, let's create an orange basic block and add to motors not controlled by events A or B. Now, let's add the orange basic block to the switch's linking targets. After that, the switch can control all motors of the orange basic block. We've now learned all the advanced settings for switches. The advanced settings for switching areas are basically the same, differing only in how they are used. Entering and leaving an area are similar to touching a switch. You can choose between switches or switching areas based on your needs. Let's review what we've learned today one last time. Alright, that's it for this tutorial. Did you get everything? Feel free to leave me a comment and let me know what else you'd like to learn.